Oh hey, didn't see you there.
I'm Emily.
And I'm Pate, and today we're going to discuss individual obligations to reduce greenhouse gas emissions.
We read philosophers like John Brim and Sarah Armstrong to learn whether it is morally required for individuals and governments to reduce their carbon emissions.
So then we put this information into an infographic and showed it to some of our friends to see what they think. Let's go!
What are your initial thoughts on this infographic? Would you consider incorporating any of these actions into your daily routine?
Little suggestions of things that we can tweak to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and stuff like that. And I feel like those are some pretty simple things that people can incorporate into their lives.
After looking at the infographic, I already incorporate a lot of them, but I definitely want to incorporate air drying my clothes more.
I thought it was really interesting to see how simple changes in your life can make an impact. And I'm vegetarian, so I was really happy to see that makes a positive impact. And in the future, I would incorporate turning down the heat in my apartment.
I think I could definitely incorporate air drying some more of my clothes. I already do that with my work uniform, so I could definitely do that with more of my clothes. And also take the opportunity to carpool with my roommates more often when we're going to the same place.
Is what difference would these small changes actually have? Could I really make a difference from changing some of my daily habits? But as I continue to look at the infographic, I realized the impact that even making one small change could have. So I realized if we all made some small daily habit changes, then we could make a difference.
This infographic really showed me that everyday activities really do impact CO2 emissions. So in the future, I will definitely try to start air drying my clothes and turning down my temperature in my room.
I think maybe I'll do the air drying my clothes more often thing because that's pretty easy.
Do you think the government or individuals have a larger obligation to reduce emissions?
I feel like that could go either way because if the government implements policies and stuff to enforce people to kind of shift their routines and stuff to be more, what's the word, sustainable.
I feel like at a certain point, there's only so much that the government can do. I think the individuals in society need to start taking more of a personal responsibility. But, some people won't necessarily take that step unless it's implemented by the government. So it's kind of a balancing act between those two.
Understand the perspective of both Broom and Armstrong. I think a bigger impact will be made if we all choose to make changes on our own. So I think the obligation falls more with the individual, and that if we were all to make these daily changes, we'll be able to make a difference.
I definitely think that the government has more of a foothold and more influence over what needs to get done, but also at the same time it is individuals' responsibility to tell the government what they want, but overall, government has more power.
I do think that the government does have a larger obligation just because their actions can most likely have a larger impact, but I do think that it's important for people to also try to reduce their own emissions.
I think individuals and the government both have obligations. Individuals can make simple changes in their daily lives as shown with the infographic, but however, I think governments can make a larger impact, especially globally, with placing restrictions on factories and trying to reduce CO2 emissions.
I think the government, because individuals can't really make much of an impact on their own, and it's also their responsibility to make people do things like that and to control corporations that do the majority of pollution.